So what is the significance of this pond to your father?
This pond is a mine. It was one of the first mines my father ran after the war.
It's a mine?
Yep. Actually, when it stopped producing, he blasted into the groundwater so it'd fill up, and that makes it a lot more safe. In fact, all of this was ours, everything we walked through at one point, but he sold it off after the mine stopped producing and kept just a small plot to build the house on.
So when you said that your grandfather was buddying up with African dictators, you really meant that he was mining in Africa?
Yes, that was a little bit later when France's energy platform involved a lot of uranium.
But why mining?
Well, my family comes from a long line of miners. My father, his father before that, and his father before that, they all made their fortunes mining French West Africa.
But after the war, he decided to stay in France. Why is that?
That's a sad story, actually. There was this nationalist douchebag that started riling up all the miners and convincing them that they could renegotiate ownership. So they gave my grandfather an ultimatum and said that he could keep the land, but he'd now be renting it out to them and they would own everything they pull out of the mountains. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah, I sort of can.
You think that's fair?
Well, I guess it depends on how your family came across the lands that they were mining in the first place.
I don't really see how that factors into it. They didn't have a claim over it. It's not like the miners had a claim over it, so they can't just steal it.
They're African, right? In Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Miners were African?
Yes.
So I think the argument would be that your family stole the land from them, and they're taking back what was rightfully theirs.
See, I don't know why you always have to spin it like that. My family was my family was well liked by the miners before this guy came along. Like, Zuhair, you'll like this. So my grandfather actually instituted a program where the Muslim miners, if they worked for the family for 10 years, they'd have their Hajj trip to Mecca paid for.
Arbeit macht frei.
What's that supposed to mean?
Is German for work makes you free.
I know what it translates to, German. It's written on the gates of Auschwitz. I get that. I live in Berlin. I'm asking you what you mean by it.
I mean, if your grandfather was such a nice guy, then he would have paid your workers enough for them to afford their own trip to Mecca.
You know, Dorian, just because you're black doesn't mean you get to adopt the entire African struggle.
Hold on, man. Slow down, okay? Just slow down, all right?
No, but really, Dorian, the Beninese struggle has nothing to do with what your people went through. Nothing.
Look, you're forgetting something. That's key, Victor. I'm
that?
half Vietnamese. They were under French colonization as well. You think that was any kind of picnic?
Switch out your tampon.
Zuhair, you're from a country that was once under colonial rule. You want to weigh in on this? Zuhair?
I'm not supposed to speak from behind the camera.
Fuck it. You know, Dorian, you want to know something? You can take that baguette we gave you to make your banh mi sandwich and you can shove it up your ass. And use the hair. If you want to gang up with him, guess what? Fuck you and your constitutional democracy and impeccable English.
It's not fair. I didn't even say anything, Vic. Vic!